Yoko Ono, born February 18, 1933, was an artist, peace activist, singer, songwriter, and feminist who continues to make cutting-edge pieces, changing the way people see art. Yoko was born into an upper-class family in Tokyo with two siblings. Her mother was a painter and her father aspired to be a concert pianist, but settled as a banker. Yoko was a neglected and isolated child despite being part of a moderately sized family. This led Ono to spend a lot of time being creative, later ending her up being accepted into Japan's most acclaimed school, Gakushin University. Yoko and her family were affected by the 1945 American bombing on Tokyo, which led her and her family to flee their hometown and travel from farm to farm with the bare minimum, a drastic change from their previous upscale lifestyle. In 1940, they created a permanent residence in New York City. Yoko is mostly known for her relationship with the Beatles' singer-songwriter John Lennon in 1966, but had a well-established art career before her association with the musician. One of her most famous pieces, Cut Piece, created in 1964, was a revolutionary piece that is one of the first to demonstrate performing arts. Yoko stood on a stage in a suit and held scissors in her hand. She then allowed the audience to cut her clothes off her body while she stood motionless and silent until she stood in her underwear. Yoko Ono's original idea behind this was to demonstrate the Buddhist mentality with an underlining tone of feminism, that women too are expected to give up everything, but themes of materialism, gender, class, and cultural identity were taken away from this work. This was also one of Ono's first controversial pieces, some saying it was a striptease, a protest against war, and more recently, feminism. I took this performing arts piece as a way to express Ono's life, that things can be ripped to shreds, yet you can still be alive. During this time, the Fluxus art movement was in full swing and Yoko Ono was front and center. Fluxus was a movement that was meant to destroy any boundaries between art and life, a movement that was created with futurist and Dadaist in mind. Yoko Ono related to this movement because the theories it held were one with hers, and best described and said by John Cage. One should embark on a piece without having a conception of the eventual end. It was the process of creating that was important, not the finished product. Yoko Ono is known for her modern and simple elements used in her pieces. She almost always uses little to no or dulled color in her pieces and are also labeled as contemporary. Ono is also a fan of three-dimensional mass and space. She also uses light in some of her museum pieces, using it to create expression and emotion. Ono is also seen to use directional forces and proportions in her more famous pieces like Helmut's Sky installation. Ono is still creating to this day, focusing more on her music. She recently created a textural mural piece in Washington, D.C., and shows no sign of slowing down.